If you run a business and your calendar looks like this, meeting at 9 a.m., another one at 11, another one at 2, and then another one at 4 p.m., this is a terrible way to run your day. And you already know that. You've heard protect your morning or protect your time, protect your day 100 times. So why does it still look like this? Because you think the fix is to just work harder. It isn't. The real problem is that you're running one calendar for a job that needs two. And so you keep taking meetings whenever they land. And every one of them costs more than it looks. There's a really cool researcher, her name is Gloria Mark, and she found that you jump from one task to another every 11 minutes. Then it takes about 23 minutes for you to go back to the original task or to regain focus. And what this means is that every time you work on this, you get some time here to work on whatever task it is. You get into this task and your mind is already thinking, I won't really drop into this deep focus because it knows that the 11 a.m. meeting is already coming. And so that's on the back of your mind. And it's like, oh, I need to prepare for this meeting. And you're not really quite dropping into this deep zone of focus. And so you're busy all day, but you don't feel like you get anything done at the end of the day. And if you don't change that, that's not just one bad Tuesday. That's your next 5 years with the business waiting on the one thing only you can build. So in this video, I want to show you a very simple strategy on how to prevent that and fix your calendar and fix the way you spend your time to not feel as overwhelmed. And it's very easy to apply as well. If we haven't met, my name is Dr. Yannick van Heerden. I'm a behavioral scientist and high performance coach. Over the past decade, I've studied how to maintain peak performance without burning out. And I've worked with over 100 business owners to make sure that they can grow their business without sacrificing their personal life, because you can have both a successful business and a happy life. And I was talking to one of my clients yesterday, and he's running a $30 million business, and he was living the exact schedule that I just put up on the screen. He said, this is exactly what my calendar looks like. I walked him through, and I thought it'd be useful to walk you through it as well, to give you an idea of how you can fix this issue. And there's 4 steps that I'm going to walk you through. So the first thing that people do is they just accept whatever meeting. Someone asks them, hey, can you meet? And you say yes. And the reason, most likely, that you do this is because you're a problem solver. You get things done. That's what you're known for. People hire you because they know he can get the job done. And fair enough, that got you where you're now, but it causes stress in the long term. Am I right? Because you're frustrated with how your day runs. And so this happens. You have all these meetings in your calendar and you try and get stuff done. And so what you do is you try and maybe get a little bit of work done before the first meeting. Try and get a little bit of work done, and you're not quite focused because you know this catch up is coming, and actually maybe I need to prepare a little bit for this meeting. And so how much work do you actually get done? Then you have this meeting finished. Then after the meeting, there's a bit of buffer time. There's a few things that you need to action as well. And then finally, maybe you get to the one task, maybe you get to a second task, and then boom, there's the next meeting. Then there's a lunch. Then somebody calls you and interrupts you. And again, you don't get work done. Finally, you get to this final stretch of work here, and you maybe get one quote out the door or whatever, and not quite finished yet. There's another meeting. Quickly finish something else, right? And then the day is over, and you're like, what? 5 p.m. You look at the time. Where did the day go? This is a lot of people's calendar, what it looks like. You have an idea of what you want it to look like, but in reality, it never looks like that. Is that right? And so the thing that I'd like to share with you is this concept from a very influential person named Paul Graham. Paul Graham is the co-founder of Y Combinator, the startup incubator that helped businesses like Uber and Reddit, for example, grow. So he introduces this concept that in business, there's 2 roles, basically. There is a maker and there is a manager. A maker is a person who is productive when they have long blocks of uninterrupted work. So these are writers, editors, coders, you name it, analysts, people who produce things that are of value. And when they work for long uninterrupted blocks, they produce the highest value. So meetings for them are generally not super productive, right? On the other hand, you have managers. But the manager has a very different schedule. They are productive when they have multiple meetings with the people who are the makers, and they want to make sure that the makers actually do the work, right? So this person is productive when they have multiple meetings, not necessarily longer blocks. And the conflict happens is that if you're running a business, the reality is that you are both. You are not just one of these. You are both a maker as well as a manager. And so this is why your schedule ends up looking like this, because you try and cram both into one calendar, which is, again, a terrible way of doing things. So the first fix you want to do is to figure out how can you separate these. Figure out in your business, first of all, what are you mostly in your business? Are you a maker? Are you a manager? And again, you're probably both. And so there is a hybrid version. And in that way, the first place to start is to figure out how can you make sure that you batch these blocks together. So instead of having a calendar that looks like this with everything fragmented and scattered around, what you want to do ideally is you want to make sure that you have multiple blocks of work grouped together, specifically separating meetings from the work that actually gets done, right? And so I want to give you 4 steps to making this happen. Step number 1 is to batch meetings. So this means that you put together all of the meetings that you can find in one block, whether it's the afternoon, whether it's the morning, it doesn't really matter. But make sure that they're close, especially if they're recurring meetings. Put these meetings back to back so that you're in meeting mode, you're in manager mode, right? The second principle is to create meeting-free blocks. So here, no meetings are allowed to be booked. Again, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon for you, choose that, but nobody can book a meeting. This means that you can keep that time free for the deep work activities, for the things that actually grow the business, for the things that are on your endless to-do list, if you have one on your wall, with the projects that need to happen but never get done. That's what that time is for. And nobody can hijack that, right? Step number 3 is to schedule your meetings backwards. So you start with the meeting at the end of the day, and then the next meeting that happens comes after that. And then if someone else books another meeting, it comes after that, or before that, rather, and so forth until you reach your meeting-free zone, right? In this way, if you book a meeting, if not all the spots get filled, you still have this another deep work block filled here. The problem is where if you accept another meeting in your meeting-free zone, you have this empty, this no man's land. And again, there's no focus to be created there, and you're just doing tasks that are not useful. So as much as possible, try and book meetings backwards. And if you tell me, I can't do that because other people are going to be annoyed by it, the reality is that's not the case. You're the business owner anyway, so especially with your staff, you can pull this off, right? And with other people outside of the business, you'd be surprised how easy it is actually to give people multiple options on multiple days that are your ideal backwards scheduling block. And you can figure out a time to meet. I actually got this technique from Alex Hormozy, and since I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, it has just drastically improved the productivity as well as my clarity for when I get to do deep work and when I do the maker work versus when I do the manager work. Step number 4 is to add a 90-minute deep or high impact work block each day. With high impact, I mean, maybe you're familiar with deep work and you generally think that is a cognitively demanding task and requires deep thinking and being uninterrupted. That is true, but I'm not as interested in the cognitive side of things. I'm interested in what makes the biggest impact in your business. What's the constraint in your business right now, and can you overcome that constraint in this block? And if that means you need to pick up the phone and you need to jump from one thing to the next, I'm okay if there's a little bit of context switching. I'm not saying you should never be context switching. I'm talking about you making sure that there's one thing that needs to be done. And if that means you need a few steps in there, that's totally fine. But if you can, in the nature of your work, allows you or requires you rather to work for a long duration, say an hour or 90 minutes on a strategic task that requires deep thinking, which only you can do because that's why you're running the ship. There is work that only you can do that generally requires deep thought and understanding and seeing patterns that other people can't. For that reason, I recommend adding this block to your calendar. So whether that is in the morning or in the afternoon, I'm not too fussed about that. But what is required is that if you have a meeting-free block, then ideally just protect that with something that you already know. I need to get something done. I have something really important that needs to get done. And generally that is something that is on the board, like the strategy thing that the consultants have told you, or you hired someone to tell you what needs to be done, or you have something on your to-do list and you never quite get to it. That's the thing that needs to be here, the thing that generally grows the business, or the book that you've been wanting to write, whatever it is. But name that. Name whatever the task is, and make sure that you have a block set out for that. Why 90 minutes? Very quickly. Biologically speaking, we have cycles of 90 minutes that we're focusing. Like, it's called ultradian cycles, just like the circadian rhythm when you're sleeping at night. We have this during the day as well. We reach peak focus in a 90-minute window, taking a little time to warm up and a little time to cool down. And after 90 minutes, you generally get into this trough where you require to essentially reset. These are the windows when you are a little bit distracted. Maybe you tend to want to check LinkedIn, or check your email, or whatever, check your phone. Something comes up and takes a bit of your attention away, and that is because you have burnt up this focus of 60 minutes or 90 minutes, and then you get into this bit of distraction zone. And that's why you get distracted. And that's not a problem, but we can use that window to just do lower value, more shallow work tasks if you want. But in general, if you can have this 90-minute cycle scheduled in your calendar where you're not going to be disturbed, and so you don't have this meeting here sitting, looming, waiting for you to be disrupted, then that generally gives really good results. So in summary, this is step number 4, deep work block. Okay, so we generally have our day scattered, meetings and activities on the same calendar, and we want to separate them. Okay, so task versus meetings. The first thing is to batch your meetings, making sure that everything sort of stacks together. The second point is to have meeting-free zones. Make sure that you can work on tasks uninterrupted for a long period of time. The third point is scheduling meetings backwards, so you never get stuck in this fragmented calendar or this confetti where everything is kind of like scattered all over the place. And the last one being the 90-minute deep work block. If you stack these 4 things onto your calendar, you're going to feel like you're in control again. And you're going to feel like you actually get the work done that needs to get done. So that at the end of the day, someone asks you, how was today? You're like, today was a good day because I got the thing done that needed to be done. One of the things that you will probably have is the tendency to, say, open up your email. You're like, oh, where do I do my email? I would recommend that you do your deep work block first before you check any email. Or if you need to send emails, drafting those emails, but don't fall for checking your inbox. And I've run this process in the past few months, in this year probably with about 20 of my clients, and most of them said, oh, but I don't know if I can start my email this late because my clients are waiting. And every time I ask this question, if you wait 90 minutes to answer or send an email, does anything really break? The answer is almost always no, nothing breaks. And so think for yourself, can you add 90 minutes before checking email to do the most important thing that you need to do? Have a deep work block, then do email. Or check your email, see if there's anything super urgent. Can you quickly get that out of the way? Close your email inbox if you can't get it done. Close the email, do that first, close the email inbox, then do the 90-minute work block. And then you have your meetings at the end of the day. If you follow this structure and you play around with whether you do it in the morning or in the afternoon, it doesn't really matter. But if you treat it like a meeting, you're having a meeting with someone else, you're going to feel much more effective, much more productive, and again, calmer in your mind as well, because you have structure, you have overview, you have an approach. coming up with a deep work block requires you to think, what is the most important thing? Like, this tackles a lot of questions. What is the most important thing in the business? What is the one thing that, if done well, can make anything else unnecessary? Or easier, or potentially unnecessary. That's from Gary Keller, from the book The One Thing. And then, of course, the second thing is that if you have time to work on that most important task, you feel like you can get a lot more done because you have extended time to work on this task. You're going to increase your productivity twofold, and you will find that you will get a lot more done in the same time. So you're not even changing anything about your start time or your end time. You're just reorganizing the way you run your day, and you're going to feel massive. You're going to experience massive improvements in your productivity as well. So if this is useful, you'd like to learn more, I will share with you a worksheet that I have created that I share with my clients as well. I'll link it below the video, and hopefully that's useful. And if this was useful and you want to understand that beyond the productivity, how to run a system that helps you to get that extra day of work done each week, plus also making sure that you have time to train your body and work on your mental fitness, I recorded another video with the system in which I explain that. So I will link that somewhere up here as well, or in the description. And thank you very much for watching.